Okay, it's 9 o'clock, so we'll begin. And we're going to do a metta bhavana, a loving kindness meditation, this morning at 9. And just wanted to say something about that. I was thinking earlier that we live in a world where appearances are everything, aren't they? Where we are pushed and shoved to appear to be a certain kind of person, where the way we look and what we wear and how cool we are is really important somehow in the world. And that's all right, but it stops us being ourselves, doesn't it? It really stops us actually living in the world as us. We're sort of completely encouraged to put this front on that is in tune with fashion or culture or something like that. So in Buddhism, we're just trying to be ourselves. We're trying not to do that. I mean, we can still wear nice clothes and have our hair done or anything like that, but that's not what our life's about. Our life is about facing up to our whole self. We're not hiding, or we're trying not to hide any part of it. Now that's difficult because we have all these sort of uncomfortable, messy bits of our lives, don't we? We're messy. All human beings are messy. And we try to pretend we're not a lot of the time. And then it all spills out, doesn't it? And things go wrong and we get upset. So in Buddhists, what Buddhists are trying to do is to try and just acknowledge how we are, acknowledge the mess, acknowledge the messy bits, but with a real sense of kindness to ourselves. So we're acknowledging the messy bits, but we're not criticizing them. We're not having a bit of a poor view of them. We're just seeing them with a sense of acceptance and kindness and friendship towards them. This is us. We're not perfect. And it's absolutely fine not to be perfect. And if we can do that, if we can have a sense of real love towards our messy self, then we're on the first step of actually changing little by little and becoming, letting go of some of this messiness. So that's what this meditation is all about, the metta bhavana, the loving kindness meditation. And we can do this, it's really important we do this with ourselves. Every Wednesday on the pajama meditation, I do this meditation just for us, just for ourselves. And it's a very powerful meditation. Today we're doing it for ourselves and all beings, and particular categories of beings, as we'll see. And that helps us to, that's just as important because it helps us to change our view of those people around us, or at least to act in kinder ways to those people. So I think I've said enough and we can actually get on with the meditation. I'm just looking at the comments. Just say hello to Sarah and to Deborah. Yeah, she says there's a lot of messy self to love. And that's true. That's true of me anyway. And I love my messiness. I know, at least I try to love my messiness. Occasionally I get in a bit of a state over it. But mostly I do actually quite like my messiness. And that's not to say I don't want to change and grow. I do. But the messiness is where I am now. And that's okay. Right. So if you like to get ready to meditate, you can do this as usual, lying on the bed, lying on the floor, sitting on a chair, or on a meditation stool or cushion, whatever suits you. Just be comfy. And you can do this with your eyes open or closed. So we begin, as always, by arriving in our meditation, by taking stock. How are we this morning, right now? Are we feeling good about ourselves? Not so good about ourselves? Maybe even a bit blank? So wherever we're starting from, that's just where we're starting from, and it's fine. It's the way it is. And bringing our attention to our bodies, the weight of your body sitting on the chair, lying on the bed, just feeling the weight pressing down and letting go as much as you can. Letting whatever you're lying on or sitting on, letting that take the weight of your body. In a way, giving up the weight of the body. Feeling the contact with whatever you're sitting on. Noticing any brushing of air on your skin, the temperature of the air on your skin, any sounds around, and the sensations in the body. And bringing our attention to the chest area, rising and falling as we breathe in and breathe out. Tuning in to the subtle sensations in the chest, the rhythm, and the feeling arising and passing with each breath. We're going to bring our attention down now to the bottom of the rib cage, right in the middle. This is called the sternum. It's where the left and the right ribs meet. And behind here, somewhere, is our heart center. The place where we feel all positive emotion. The place where we feel love. So just being open to feeling a sense of love and kindness in this area. In the heart center, the chitta. And if you're having difficulty doing this, then just bring into mind someone that you really love, someone that you care about so much, perhaps a friend or a child or a pet. Just bringing them to mind as an image or a sense of them, and seeing what arises in this heart center. And if nothing happens, then just staying open to some feeling arising. And if you do have a beautiful feeling, warmth, benevolence in this area, not trying to do anything with it, just allowing it to be there and grow. Allowing it to spread through the whole body. So this is the loving kindness meditation. And we begin by just being with ourselves, being with the messiness of our lives. This being that's just doing its best to live life to the full. A being that has good times and bad times. We're sometimes happy, sometimes unhappy, fulfilled or frustrated, joyful or angry, constantly changing pattern of our lives. Sometimes very pleasant, sometimes very painful. But all the time we're doing our best. So can we have a sense of kindness to this messy self? Can we be a real friend to ourselves? And like any good friend, can we just accept ourselves in all our messiness? So having a sense of love and goodwill to ourselves, just as we are. And wishing ourselves well, wishing good health for ourselves, wishing ourselves happiness. And wishing ourselves freedom from suffering. And can we resolve to try and be our own best friend, to take care of ourselves when times are hard, and to look after ourselves. So now we're going to bring to mind a really good friend, someone who you care about. Just bringing them to mind as an image in your imagination, or just a sense of them coming to sit with you in this meditation, or maybe remembering a particular moment when you really loved them so much for who they were. And just seeing what happens when you do that. This friend also have their ups and downs, Perhaps they don't always feel good about themselves. And sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're... And in many ways, they're just like yourself, doing the best to make the way through a difficult world. So just noticing how you feel about them. There may be a sense of love, particularly in the heart center. Occasionally, there may not. You may have a reaction to them. And just accepting whatever arises. Keeping the image of them in your mind, or the sense of them. And wishing this good friend well. May you have good health. May you have happiness. May you be free from suffering. Really meaning it for them. We're going to let the good friend go now for the moment and bring a stranger into our meditation. Somebody who you see from time to time, but you don't know very well. You neither like nor dislike. So maybe a postie or a neighbour, someone who works in a shop that you go to, or someone you see at work or in the street, but you don't really know them. Just bringing them to mind as an image or a sense of them. And seeing what happens. What feelings arise, if any. It may be that you do feel a sense of some connection with this person, and that's really good. If you do, maybe you can feel an even stronger connection with them. But it's quite likely that you don't feel any connection with them. You might even feel completely indifferent to them. And that's fine. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. We're just trying to be honest with ourselves. So staying open to this person, keeping them in your imagination, having a sense of them, and trying to see beyond this level of disinterest that we often have of other people. This is another human being, just like yourself, in so many ways. They undergo real pain in their lives, and happiness, and grief, and joy, just like you do. Can you see that in them? Can you see that behind this cardboard cutout of a figure, perhaps, there is a thinking, feeling, living human being? Just like ourselves, they struggle through their lives sometimes. Just like ourselves, they're doing their best. They feel good about themselves, they feel bad about themselves. And just like us, they need love and kindness to nurture them. So can we wish this stranger well, wishing them good health, wishing them every happiness in their lives, and wishing them freedom from suffering. So we can let the stranger go for now. And we're going to bring into our meditation someone that we have a certain amount of difficulty with. Not somebody we have a lot of difficulty with, that might be too much, but somebody that we find a bit uncomfortable, that irritates us maybe, that we really don't like very much. Just bringing them into our meditation as an image or as a sense of them, and just noticing how that feels. I'm guessing that it doesn't feel very comfortable when you bring this person to mind. And that's okay. So just for a start, acknowledging these feelings, these negative feelings about this person, and giving yourself permission to feel them fully without any sense of guilt or any sense of pushing them away. Just really feel what you feel about this person. Because that's the truth. You don't need to work out so much why you feel this way, or to try not to feel this way. We're just being honest with ourselves. So without trying to change any of these feelings, without trying to somehow like this person, can we still wish them well? Wishing them well in their lives, in their difficult lives, often. They are very much like us in some ways. They're happy sometimes. They're very much unhappy other times. They have joys in their life and they have disappointments. They have gain and they have loss. Good times and bad times, just like ourselves. So in spite of what we think of them, what we feel about them, can we have a sense of well-wishing towards them in their lives? This person is a fallible, vulnerable human being. And like us, they're going to get ill at times. They're going to get old. And one day they're going to die, just like ourselves. And they're doing the best on this difficult path through life. So let's wish them well. May you have good health. May you have every happiness. And may you be free from suffering. And trying to mean it. Trying to have a sense of real well-wishing without trying to change anything. And in the final stage, we're going to bring all four people together. Ourselves, the good friend, the stranger, and the person we have difficulty with. And we're going to open our hearts to them all equally. Sense of loving kindness to these four tender, vulnerable human beings. If we can't manage loving kindness, just a sense of acceptance and goodwill, as much as we can manage. And if we can't manage very much, then not beating ourselves up about that. Just accepting that that's where we are at the moment. And then having a sense of goodwill to everyone that's been meditating with us this morning. 9 people, 8 of them just like ourselves. Tender human beings, just doing their best to make their way through life. Can we have a sense of solidarity with each other? A sense of loving kindness towards each other? And then radiating that goodwill outwards to all the people in this country, all people in lockdown, in all sorts of conditions, all sorts of ages, backgrounds, just doing the best with the circumstances they find themselves in. Then spreading our goodwill even further across the whole world, to all people in all lands, all in different stages of this worrying pandemic, all dealing with it in the best way they can, whatever their circumstances. As much as we can, having a sense of solidarity and kindness to all of them. And opening our hearts even further, opening our hearts to all living beings, all human beings, all animals, all birds, water creatures, even insects. Every living being on this earth, all of them wanting to have a good life, all of them doing the best to live their lives without pain. Can we have a sense of goodwill and well-wishing to all beings, whatever they are, wherever they are? Finally, just letting go of any effort, and for the last few moments, just sitting with whatever experience you're having, not trying to change it, not getting caught up in it, just observing how you are in this moment. I'm going to ring the bell in a moment to bring the meditation to an end. And when I do, as always, just taking your time to open your eyes and move your body.